Welcome to the show. From lasers to CNC. What a journey, let's go. Santa's in the house. Tell me how you made it. Santa's in the house. Show me how you shaped it. Craft by craft, we'll see how you got here with me.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of Santa and Maker. It's actually episode 4, and we've got another good guest today, I think. And I just want to say something personal right quick. Today I hit 100 subscribers. So for those 100 people who've actually subscribed to this channel, I very much appreciate that. I wanted to put that out there first thing. And Santa Chris here is proud of the fact that you guys have come and saw some of these videos and stuff. So what we're going to do is we're going to talk to somebody who has, like most of us, started a channel. And even though he's working his way through, he's put several things out there that's very interesting. One of the things that I like the most about it is the fact that he's condensing some of his stuff into 15 minutes. So let's pull him in here and talk to him a little bit. We have Bill here from Pro Lasers and CNC. How are you today, Bill? Can you hear me, Bill?
I'm good, Chris. How you doing?
I'm doing good. So Bill has a Pro Laser.
Hey, congrats on the 100.
Thank you.
Can you hear me okay?
Yeah. So seems like we have a little bit of delay in there, but that's okay. We'll figure it out anyway. But Bill's got Pro Lasers and CNC, and a lot of what he's doing right now, he's been doing some millage lessons and that kind of thing. And so he'd also told me earlier that he had a little bit of issue with trying to do some videos based off of his work schedule. He'd started a new job and that kind of thing, but he's been able to work it out now where he can come on here. So we thank him for doing that. So thank you, Bill. Yeah, we seem to have a little delay here.
I appreciate you having me. Thank you.
No problem. So
now, I don't know why earbud is not going on. I don't hear it through that, so I'm not sure.
Okay. Well, we'll just have to take and work through it as best we can. So we'll start like we normally do. So, Bill, where were you actually born at?
I was born in New York. Was there till, I guess I'm going to say, about 13.
Is that where your parents grew up, or they moved there, or how did...
Moved to Pennsylvania? My father was in the trucking company, and he moved to Pennsylvania. He was there for about a week and then off a week. And my mom was like, well, that's a little too much. So she decided to move us to Pennsylvania.
Right. Where in Pennsylvania did you end up moving to?
It was central Pennsylvania.
Okay.
Little League World Series is in South Williamsport. Most people have seen that. That's where it's at.
The reason I ask is my brother lives in Hollidaysburg, close to Altoona. And so we go over there and visit him at least once a year, I believe. So kind of know that area. I like the Lancaster area where the Amish are as well. And so been over in that area. It's beautiful country over there. So what was it like growing up over in Pennsylvania?
It was definitely different in New York, but it was nice. We lived in a small town, so there was not a lot going on. So I don't know why this is definitely not right. It should be picking up quick, but I don't know. We'll muddle through this though.
Yeah, right. So, well, you said you were 13 when you moved to Pennsylvania. That kind of leads into the next question a little bit of going to high school at that age. How did that work out for you?
It was good. Being younger, I wasn't like thrown like into the wolves like when you're in high school. That like my sister, she was in high school, so it was a lot tougher for her. But for me being younger, I kind of fit in kind of seamlessly. They all thought, oh, this New York kid coming there, but I was in New York City, so it wasn't like it was, oh, this city boy's coming here. So
Right.
it was definitely kind of different.
Did you have much trouble getting used to being in that area versus being in New York? Did you have much trouble getting used to being in that area versus being in New York?
No, it was pretty okay. Like I said, being young, I was able to adapt a lot quicker than like my sister was. But it was it was a little different. The way they talked was different. They thought I talked funny, so they put me through speech class because I talked funny next to what they were. So
So yeah, well, you can tell I'm from the South, so I have that Southern accent. So we talk slow and meaningful is what a lot of people say. So, but the next question I had is, did you go into the college, military?
that's a
What
good
was your,
thing.
yeah. What was your next step in after high school?
After high school, I started work pretty much within like 2 months, and I started working in the MHMR field, mental health, mental retardation field.
Right.
I did that for about 17, 18 years, somewhere around there, until I moved down here. When I moved to North Carolina, then yeah, it was I started working in the prison then, so it was a total different world.
So when did you move to North Carolina?
Started working in prison then, so it was
So when did you move to North Carolina?
I moved to North Carolina in what was it? 2000. Oh my God, what year was that? I've been down here for 20 years. So 20 years ago.
Right. So 2006. Kevin's asking what part of New York?
Yeah, 2006, yeah.
Kevin's asking what part of New York?
We lived about an hour from the Tappan Zee Bridge. It was a place called Middletown. A little bit outside of Middletown, but yeah, it was about an hour and a half from the city.
So when you were in high school, did you take a shop class or something? Is that how your adventure kind of started towards crafts? Did you have somebody like your parent that did it? How did that all start?
No, when I was in high school, I don't know if you consider it a jock or whatever you call it. I played baseball, football. That's all I ever did. I never took shop class except for what you had to take. You took like a wood class for a semester and that was it. But no, there was nothing wood wise. It just was kind of when I moved down to North Carolina, I kind of jumped into it.
So where did you start? What was your first craft that you decided to try?
When I first started doing the woodworking stuff, I was building benches, just trying to, make benches and using a hand router and making signs and things. So it was planter boxes, of course, things like that.
Did you have somebody that kind of you mentored under, or did you just kind of learn on your own? Did you have somebody that kind of mentored under, or did you just kind of learn on your own?
Kind of just learned on my own. Just when I moved down here, I had a little bit of time. When I retired from the work up north, I took a couple months off and then came down here and just started doing stuff and just dove into it and started messing around and just kind of playing with it.
Yeah.
My father did, like he could build a couple little things. He wasn't any kind of carpenter or anything, but you learn kind of stuff here and there.
So what was the progression after that? Where did you go from doing some woodworking? What was the next thing that you ended up coming up and doing? So what was the progression after that? Where did you go from doing some woodworking?
Well, like I said, I was doing hand router signs, and that, of course, you never get them looking perfect. At least I didn't, because I didn't do it long enough. And my son was like, Dad, you ought to look into these machines. You get on a computer, you do it, and they do their thing. And I've never heard of that. So I said, yeah, let me look. And I started watching some videos. And next thing I know, I bought a Viver or a Verve or whatever it is, CNC 3018. And that was kind of the start of it right there. Once I got my hands on that, I said, yeah, this is what I like.
Yeah. You fell in the same rabbit hole we're all fell into. So how long did you use that machine before you decided I'm going to get something a little more stout, a
Yes.
little better? So how long did you use that machine before you decided I'm going to get something a little more stout, better?
The Verve, the Viver, whatever you call it, 3018, it did okay for the first little bit of it. And when they shipped it to me, it was it was in a little small box, 1,000,000 pieces. You got to put the whole thing together. It took me like 2 days to put it together. And I had no idea what I was doing. And I got it together, ran a couple testings, it worked good. And then after a little bit, it stopped working so good. So I would have to do 3 signs, take it off because it would mess up somewhere, replane it, rehand sand it, try to do it again about 3 times till I could finally get one of the signs to go. And I said, okay, I got to find something better than this. So
yeah, that's how we all learn. We learn more from our mistakes than we do anything. So it's all trial and error most of the time. So we learn more from our mistakes than we do anything. So it's all. So you got into the YouTube side. What made you decide, okay, I've started out with this Vivor and I've got to the point now where I think I want to show somebody how to do something or present something. What was your mindset in that?
I kind of some people in my family all said I could have been like a teacher. I like teaching people stuff. Baseball coach, football coach, wrestling coach, with my nephews and stuff. So I like teaching stuff. And I got into that side of it, and I thought, well, if I can do a video, I maybe can teach some people stuff. And also, not to mention, maybe get some of these free things that people get, get your channel big enough, you can start getting some of these free things that people are getting. And then I also thought too, when I'm good and gone, my videos will still be out there so people can watch them, my family can watch them, see me, and, kind of keep my legacy kind of going.
Right. Yeah, I understand that. So what was and sorry, I didn't look back to see what was your first video. I'm assuming it was on a CNC machine. So what was and sorry, I didn't look back to see what was your first video. I'm assuming it was on a CNC machine.
After I got the 3018, I was thinking to myself, what would I like to be able to get into? And then I started watching a lot of videos, Louisiana Hobby Guy and things like that. And I started seeing that there's a laser machine. So I got into the laser machine. I bought an Ortour 5-watt. And I started really diving into the Ortour 5-watt. And didn't know much about it. Cracked the lens. Didn't even know that was possible. And ended up buying a Ortour 10-watt. And it kind of took off from there. And I used the laser machine for a lot of my time. And then I just got back into the CNC maybe a year and a half ago. So,
which one do you think you like better right now? I mean, of course, you just got back into the CNC, but which one gives you more joy right now, the CNC or the laser? Which one do you think you like better right now? I mean, of course, you just got back into the CNC. Which one gives you more joy right now, the CNC or the laser?
I would say the CNC for sure. I really like the CNC. I like how it's a much more learning curve to it, and it's to me it's more enjoyable. I'd rather have something engrave out than just kind of etch on the wood or something. So to me, I really like the CNC better.
So one thing that I've not said about Bill yet, or I did say at the beginning, is he does some 15-minute videos. And basically what he does is he starts with a topic and he sets a timer and he gets 15 minutes of whatever he's talking about. And here lately he's been doing several videos on Milmage. And so as far as Milmage is concerned, how do you like that software so far? here lately, been doing several videos on filming. And so, as far as filming is concerned, how do you like that software so far?
I really like Milmage. I think it's coming from Lightburn. It looks exactly like it, and a lot of the same functions and the way you'd be able to create things. I really like that about it. They got a ways to go yet for it, which they're working on. So it just kind of seemed like when I jumped into the Milmage side, I can kind of seamlessly jump into that a little bit easier and start creating things better and a little bit quicker learning curve with it.
So what software were you using prior to Milmage? Were you using VCarve or which one were you using? So what software were you using prior to Milmage? Were you using VCarve or what were you using?
I think it was Carveco Maker is what I was using. You had to pay that. I forget what it was, $15 a month or something like that. And I was using that. I was trying to use Fusion. I was trying to get wrapped into that whole making the stuff in Fusion, but I was you forgot way more than what I'll ever know. So getting into that Fusion was tough to be able to start creating things. And then I got into I think I started first with Easel, and I was like, well, this is okay. But then I got into the Carveco Maker, and it just seemed to be a lot better until I saw the Milmage came out.
Yeah. Well, the one thing that I tell people about Fusion, and I learned it when I was in college, is it was set up initially for like metalworks and things like that, and it was set up for an industrial type because all it was used for is to take a drawing, create the G code for it, which at that time, which I'm not going to tell how long ago that was, but back in those days, there wasn't that many CNC machines unless you went physically to the machine itself and put in the information. You actually programmed the CNC machine itself. So when this Fusion came out, that was the big difference. You could sit at a computer and you could do everything there. And you could take and watch it do all the steps and move through and everything before you ever went to the machine with it. So that's why Fusion can be a little bit frustrating, but at the same time, I think it's a lot easier once you learn it. So my next question, of course, is since you started this journey, what has been your most frustrating thing to learn? My next question, of course, is since you started this journey, what has been your most frustrating thing to learn?
What has been my most frustrating stuff? Trying to come up with new stuff, trying to come up with different things. It's real hard. There's so many people out there making content that it's hard to make different things. So that's why I tried that 15-minute process to see if maybe that would help folks out. Because I know for me, I like to sit and watch long videos, but a lot of people don't like to sit there and watch long videos. So I thought, if I can do something shorter, then people maybe would be able to get a little bit more of what I'm saying. So trying to get that out is frustrating. Learning the software is always frustrating, but once you start to get it and you start messing with it, you start really, it starts getting real good. So you can make things a lot quicker, a lot nicer. So that would probably be the more frustrating stuff.
So how long is it taking you to get where you can be pretty proficient in that 15 minutes? Do you have to take and write stuff down to begin with before you present it, or are you able to just pretty much roll with it?
Probably most of my videos, 90% of my videos I don't edit. I hate editing. It takes so much time to do it. My laptop is old, so it's hard to get that stuff to do it. Most of my stuff is pretty much live anyway, so that 15 minutes wasn't too bad. The only problem is I'm Italian. I like to talk, so trying to keep the words shorter and keep your topic going is real hard.
Yeah,
so I'd like to try to get it down to 10 minutes, but 15 is good right now.
That's the hard part too, is how do you focus, how do you minimize it while still showing the information you want to show. So I can understand that as well, because the one thing I do have a problem with is the editing of any video I do. It seems that of course that takes the longest time anyway, but it's just it can be frustrating when you thought you put something out that was really good and then you look at it and you're like, oh my goodness, what was that all about?
It does.
So what is your most rewarding thing you think you've done so far? What is your most rewarding thing you think you've done so far?
kind of anything I've done. I made this. I know it's small and it's I used the video I did it. Um I used the miter saw and I did some other stuff with it, so it wasn't all CNC or laser. But let me go over here. One of my guys I work for, he asked me if I can make that for his mother for Mother's Day. So I did a video. I made this for him and did a video on it. Watching his face when he got that, and the stuff I make for people, that's the most rewarding part of it, is seeing how when you make something that they're like, wow, that's really nice.
Yeah, that's where your satisfaction really is best. Most of us are in here, we're got a side hustle or something like that, and we're trying to make a few dollars here and there, but every once in a while just giving one away and letting somebody have the joy of taking something that you've handcrafted or whatever, that's a great way to have joy in your life. So what other craft would you potentially like to start doing?
Absolutely. What other craft would you potentially like to start? I would like to get a bigger, like my CNC machine it's a Jimitsu Reno 4040. I did make it longer with the rails. I would like to get a nice decent CNC machine. I don't want to get the $3,000-$4,000 one, but if I can get something a little bit bigger, then I can really deep dive into some stuff and make some good stuff. So I'd like to get a little better machine, probably.
How big's your shop? You're talking about getting a bigger one. How big of a shop do you have to put something like that in? How big your shop? You talking about getting a bigger one?
Oh, my shop is tiny, so it for sure I would have to do something to be able to fit that in here. I don't want like a 2 foot by 2 foot, just something a little bigger than what this one is. Then I can do a little bit more work.
Can always take a wall out, right?
That's right. That's right.
So what do you see yourself doing now as far as your YouTube channel? I mean, you've started it. I think you've been in about a year now.
About a 3-second delay. I'm sorry.
It's okay.
My YouTube channel, I want to keep it growing. I'm only at 586 or so, and I've been doing this, I think, about 2 years. So it's going slowly, but it is going. I think the more we get out there and the more we get seen and get some of these other folks to come in here and see, that we can, make some good content, then they'll be more willing to jump in. It's just right now I'm in a slow part because it's so hot out. And the air conditioner I have is just not doing it. So it makes it real hard to want to be out here when it's 100 degrees.
Oh, yeah.
Firing the stuff up, trying to make something.
Yeah, I came out here the other day. It was 101 outside, and this was almost 90 in here with air conditioning on. So, but Crafty Creations has a question. He's asking, where are you located at in North Carolina?
I am the eastern part of the state. I'm about an hour and 30 minutes from the ocean. It's a little town called Edenton. It's a real small town, but it's a pretty small town in North Carolina. So it's about an hour and 20 or 30 minutes away from where you are, Chris.
Yeah, here in Newbern. So yeah, that's what I started to say. You're probably about an hour away because I'm about 45 minutes from the Atlantic Beach. So any particular reason you chose down towards the east versus the west? Reason I ask is I came from Western North Carolina, and everybody loves to go to the mountains and that kind of stuff, but we moved down here because we'd lived so long up in the mountains. Everybody loves to go to the mountains and that kind of stuff, but we moved down here because we lived so long.
Yeah, I love the ocean. I love the beach. We've been coming down here for years before I moved here. And my mom always said, you're going to wait till I'm dead to move down there. So I said, you're right. Let's go ahead and do this. And we came from on vacation. I decided to drive around a little bit to see what I liked. And what I ended up finding in Edenton, I said, this is probably the nicest I'm going to find, where I can still afford to live, because the Outer Banks is expensive.
Yeah.
So coming where I'm at, I can still get to the beach, and it's a little more reasonable.
You have a similar story to me in that before we moved, we went to the Outer Banks every year for vacation, and we fell in love with that area and knew at some point we were going to retire, or not retire, we were going to move. And when I got to talking to the people that lived there, they said unless you had retired already, that it was better to move inland somewhere because of jobs, because that was a tourist town. And so that's how we ended up in New Bern. I had a friend who lived close to New Bern and was in the fire department with me for years. And so that's kind of how we ended up down here too. So I understand that fully. Excuse me. Yeah, we've got a nice.
New Bern's a pretty town.
Yeah,
I've been there a couple times.
We very much enjoy it. We like the fact that we're close to the beach, like we said. The weather's pretty good 90% of the time here. We've got that light breeze, so we're thoroughly enjoying it here. But what do you see yourself doing, say 5 years now? You're going to be into YouTube more, and you want to go upgrade your machine and that kind of stuff. What else do you think you want to be doing?
Well, I've had 2 heart attacks, so hopefully, God willing, my feet will still be up. But in 5 years, I'm still going to be doing the content. I'm still trying to, get better at it, get better equipment. Obviously, this delay here, you see, I got to do something. But hopefully, doing some good content for folks out there. Because every once in a while, you get a comment from someone, hey, that's exactly what I was looking for. I really appreciate your help, and it's really satisfying to see that with people. And letting you know that you're actually teaching them something.
The one thing I see is in the laser community is basically everybody helps everybody. I very rarely see very many negative comments versus some of the other crafts that I'm involved in. The 3D printer, it can go both ways and things like that. But I very rarely, and you see these other people, the ones that are like me, who's just started, all the way up to the ones that have been doing it, and you watch all the time. It's amazing how much you get back and forth between everybody. So one thing I want to do here is I want to share his information in case you want to go on his website or his YouTube page. Right up here at the top's got his YouTube page. He's also got a website that you can go to as well. Now, I know, like I said, he got a new job and all that, so I don't know. How's your website going right now? Are you still into it? Because I noticed where you had a thing up about asking for anybody to kind of donate to help with the cost of, I forget what it was now.
It's slow. It's real slow. I don't expect anybody to do that because I know it's hard. It's a real hard times for people.
Right.
I do have one guy that he's faithful every month, and I really, really appreciate him. But it's going to be more the fact when I can save the money to get it than when I really, if somebody donates some money, then that's awesome. That's where it's going to go to. Because Chris, yourself, anytime you buy this material, it's expensive. And when you buy something and you try to create something, I'm full back here of all my little, starter ones, and I tried the little templates that I just want to change a little bit on it. So it's all expensive. It does cost a lot. But, it's slow process, but I don't come out in the shop and do as much as what I should do. Like I said, it's hot or it gets cold. You don't want to be out here. So I need to make a little more content and get a little more with it before I think people might really jump on that.
So do you do craft shows, or you just pretty much do as a hobby, or what are you actually doing with your material or your product once you get done with it?
I've done craft shows. I've tried doing like different shows and things. And like the one event I went to, it was a horse show. And I figured, people are going to be, wanting this stuff. They pay
big money on these horses, trailers, trucks, and you make all these keychains and coasters and signs, and it just kind of flopped. So most of the ones I went to, I don't get as much back as what I would like to get with them. And I know you said one time you keep your price what it is, and that's how you should be. This is handmade, handcrafted stuff that you can't just get anywhere. But a
Yeah.
lot of people want to save a dollar, go to Dollar General, pick something up that's going to fall apart, rather than support you, who makes a really, really good product. Sometimes you get it, sometimes you don't. But I tried a few of those shows, and it's just not for me because it takes so much time creating the stuff, making the stuff, and then what do you do at the end when you're finally done with it? You have all this stuff sitting here. It's kind of a lot of work for that. So
Yeah.
I mostly do my stuff word of mouth. People ask for something. My family are real, real big contributors. They're always asking me to make them stuff. They're going to somewhere, they want to give somebody something, so they'll ask me to make it for them. That's where a lot of my stuff goes.
Yeah. Well, I think I said it one time before. I have to make sure my wife doesn't see everything I create. Otherwise, I would have a house full of stuff. So I try to make as much as I can without her knowing what's going on. But she has part of the shop over here as well. So she does a lot of the painting and stuff on ours.
That's for sure.
So she can see a lot of the things I'm making anyway. So, but I appreciate everybody that's on the chat over here, and if you would like and subscribe for us. Like I said, I've got 100 subscribers now as of today. So thank you for that again. And but Bill, what else would you like to tell everybody about what you're doing and what you're trying to do? Thank you for that again. But Bill, what else would you like to tell everybody about what you're trying to do?
Just if it's something that you think you'd like to do, a lot of people are, I don't want to talk in front of this camera, or it kind of feels weird. Just do it. If it's something that you think you want to do, just do it, because you'll always get better. At least that's what they tell me. I'll get better. But you're always going to get better, and your content's going to get better, and it's just do it. That's what I always say. If you want to do something, life's so short, you just want to do it, just do it. Just have fun doing it, and the rest of it's going to take care of itself.
You had said earlier that you'd had 2 heart attacks. Is your health okay now? You had said earlier that you'd had 2 heart attacks. Is your health okay now?
Yeah, from what I know, it's okay. Just getting it, because I was working for myself. I was installing for satellite internet. So I worked for myself. I didn't have any insurance. Now that I got insurance, I'm about to go to the doctor. We're about to find out how things are. Because it's been I had the first heart attack at 36. Next one was 46. I'm 54 right now. So I guess I got another year and a half left. Hopefully I can avoid that. So everything's going good. I feel good. It's, just keep on going is all I can do. That's all any of us can do.
That's not a trend you want to keep going on and on about. You want to let that go, because but well, Bill, let me ask you this. If what do you see coming down the road as far as your CNC work? Are you going to get into more detail work? Are you going to get into more, because you said you'd done some cabinet stuff and things like that. Where do you see your CNC stuff going?
Yeah, I definitely see myself getting into Millmage. I'm going to try to see if I can get that beta tester for the V-carve and the 3D printing to see how that is, and try to give some people good ideas of what it can do. I didn't have the Millmage for a little bit because I finance-wise, I wasn't ready to spend $100 on it. So now that I got it back, I want to start trying to pump some more content with the Millmage, because a lot of people don't know much about it. They know these other programs, but if you're used to Lightburn, you're going to love Millmage eventually. So you just got to just give it a chance and let them keep developing. Jason Dories has put a phenomenal product with Lightburn. He's going to do the same thing with Millmage. It's just going to be a little bit of time until he can finally get it to where it needs to be. So I'm gonna try to drive some more content. Most of my views I see have been on Millmage, not the laser. So I'm gonna kind of throw a lot of that towards Millmage.
What have you found that you'd like to see changed or enhanced in Millmage so far? What have you found that you'd like to see changed or
in Millmage, for sure, the 3D part and the V-carve. V-carving bits, I mean, you can use a V-carve bit, but if you're trying to do the lettering, it's not going to go and do all those points that it needs to do. So I'm hoping that's what they got working on. And once I contact them and see if my little channel can, maybe they'll give me that beta test for it, I can kind of see how that goes and give some people some good ideas on what you can do with Millmage. Because is it ready? I'm sure it's ready. I've done signs with it, so everything I've done has worked fine. But they just got to just clean up a little bit of things and just add a few more things. And at $200, if you get the pro version, you can't beat that. As long as you can do the 3D carving and you can do the V bits and all that and everything else that comes with it, that's really not a bad price.
Yeah. Yeah. And most of us, and I think everybody that's on the chat right now have used Lightburn or are using Lightburn. So they kind of understand what you're talking about when you're talking about that software. It's coming from my background of AutoCAD, I can see some of the things that I'd like to see that's better as well. So So you said you had a son that kind of got you into this, I believe is what you said earlier. Is he got into the machines as well?
What is it that you enjoy doing, Chris?
I love basically doing glass on a CO2 for some reason. Yeah, for some reason.
I like that. That's good.
Yeah, doing a lot of glass now. With my background,
if you can get into that glass work, that is awesome.
Yeah. Hey, Jack. Jack from Jack in the Shop is in here in the house right now. So, but yeah, I mean, I'm twofold though. On one side, I love the design side because that's what I do for a living. The other side is the creation side because back when I was in college, being able to actually program G-code into the old machines back in those days was really interesting to me. To be able to take a manual machine and then turn around and put the computer to it and let it run, it just fascinated me. And that's how I ended up with the degree that I have in engineering technology.
Yes, sir.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
So, but yeah, I really enjoy it. And
I know you were saying where the delay got us, but you were go ahead and talk. I'm sorry.
No, I was just going to say this is the other thing that I'm enjoying too. Being a Santa Claus, my joy comes from talking to people, as you can tell. And so being able to listen to everybody's journey from where they started to where they are now and where they want to go, I find that fascinating as well.
Yeah, I like that. That's real. When you get to meet people and listen to people and talk to people, that's kind of really neat to see where they come from.
Yeah, and you said you're Italian would make you talk all the time. Well, us Southern guys do that a lot too, so we totally understand that portion of it as well. So let's ask you a totally different question. You came from New York and ultimately ended up in North Carolina. What's your thoughts on sweet tea? What's your thoughts on sweet tea?
My thoughts on sweet tea. I like unsweet tea. Any kind of sweetness, like if you just put a little bit, like my brother-in-law, he makes sweet tea and he don't put a lot of sugar, so it's not so bad. But when some of the places I get here, it's like, okay, sweet tea, it's real sweet. But when I first started coming down here on vacation, soda, you had to pay for refills. So I started getting into tea. And I tried the sweet tea. I said, oh, no, put that to the side. And I got a regular tea. I said, okay, then that kind of got me into making my own tea. This was years ago, making my own tea because I just couldn't afford. I can't see spending $2 for another soda and another soda, another $2. So tea was free.
Yeah. So, yeah, like Jack says here, yeah, if you're from here, unsweet tea, we got to take that Southern card away. So, well, Jack, I hate to tell you, but the diabetes, I actually can't have any more sweet tea. So
But
I have to
I'm a
have
Southern
unsweet
boy
tea.
now. I've been down here for 20 years, so I'm good.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. He's got his card. I tell you, the one thing that's funny to me though is,
But yeah, if you got diabetes, you gotta really be careful. That runs in my family too, so it's always something you got to be careful with.
well, the one thing is when we moved from Western North Carolina to here, this is the birthplace of Pepsi Cola, and I am a Coca-Cola drinker through and through. And one of my fellow Santas that's in the Santa house, he works over at the Pepsi Museum / the original place that it was generated. And so we're constantly going back and forth with that Pepsi and Coke thing. So, oh, no, no. So, but, well, has anybody got any questions for our guest today, or anything else that they want to talk about? He's been very straightforward with us, and like I said, if you get a chance, let me put his information back up. I did share it in the comments as well, but whoop, wrong one. Cancel. You share that one right there. So that's his information. If you want to watch his videos, go and like and subscribe to him. And if you would, like and subscribe.
And don't forget, subscribe to this channel. Chris is doing a really, really good job. And I'm cutting you off right now, and I'm sorry.
It's all right. It's all right. I appreciate it. The delays messed us up tonight, but I'm hoping that it's been entertaining nonetheless. Because like I said, this is a lot of fun for me to learn each individual and how they got there. And I've got several of these are already.
It definitely has.
Several of these people that are in the chat, I'm actually going to have on at different times within the next couple months. I'm very, very blessed. I look today, I have got somebody scheduled once every 2 weeks up till October the 5th right now. So I'm very blessed in this little show that I'm trying to create. So. And
that's what I'm talking about. That's awesome.
So there's another Santa in here, and actually
you've had some really, really good creators coming on here with you. So that's a testament to people who like to sit down here and chat with you and talk to you, and that's a special thing. Santa, I mean, that's what it is. You come, like you asked me if I would do this. I said you can never say no to Santa. So you do what you got to do.
Yeah, well, you can see right here, I've got a fellow Santa Claus right here, Santa Allen. He says he's a Diet Pepsi drinker. So and he's actually going to be on one of our shows as well coming up. So we'll have to have that discussion a little bit when we get on there.
He's in the Pepsi family, which is good.
Yes, sir. But well, I thank you very, very much for coming on and sharing with us all this information. And I appreciate your time. I know Mondays are sometimes difficult, but like I said, I'd watched your videos and saw that 15 minutes. And I thought that was very unique, that you were just trying to minimize it and to get all the content out you possibly could.
I've had a couple people reach out and tell me that 15 minutes is like a real good timeline because they, I don't know how many videos. If you look at your videos, you might have like 7-minute viewers. They'll watch for 7 minutes or whatever. So you spend an hour on a video and they only watch 7 minutes of that video. The rest of that is just wasted. Yeah. So if you can do that 15-minute or whatever, that really, hopefully helps people. And I've had a bunch of people say that that's the sweet spot. So,
well, the thing I like about it too is you don't have a lot of fluff up front. You're basically telling everybody what you're going to do, and then you set that clock, and you got 15 minutes to do it in. So that I think you're keeping their attention span as well.
Well, it's been a blast. I hope I did all right. I know there's a delay. I don't know. When we were talking before we went on, everything was perfect.
Yeah,
the earpiece in. It was perfect. As soon as we hit live, boom, there it goes. It's like, yep.
If you ever see any lives, what always happens? It won't happen until you get live. That's the way it always goes. So even with the delay, I have thoroughly enjoyed this. I appreciate your time. and I hope you have a wonderful day.
Well, you know, Chris, I have my one computer on my other YouTube channel, so you're getting an extra view, and you'll get an extra like with this here too. So, like I said, guys, hit that like button, subscribe. Santa's
Yep.
doing a great job out there. I've watched every one of his videos, and I really enjoy watching them. So, if anyone came from my channel, show him some love, hit that like and subscribe, and he's gonna keep doing his thing. And I really appreciate you, Santa. Thank you.
I appreciate you too, Bill. Y'all have a wonderful day. And everybody in chat, thank you for coming. Thank you for participating. And we will see you on the next one. Have a good day. Everybody in chat, thank you for coming. Thank you for participating. And we will see you on the next one. Have a good day.